The next presentation, Industrial InkJet, have become a partner, which is fantastic, a real innovator. And Nadina will deliver an Industrial InkJet and the destination of packaging.
Okay, so as you might have noticed, that's a very old photo of me. I don't look like that anymore. So what I want to talk today is about packaging in general. That's a bit of a no-brainer here. Food, medical, and industrial. But before I do that, yesterday we were all listening to a presentation on how you ride the wave. And as we all know in this industry, the ups and downs, they come, they go, and it's nothing if not exciting. And this took me back to the weekend just gone, on Sunday. My father and my brother decided to visit, me, my husband, my daughter, and my brother wanted to fly a kite with my daughter, and the wind was not cooperating. So we all go out to the park, the kite gets untangled, you can visualize it, it was beautiful. It was a red squid. The tentacles were ribbons about 10 meters long. It was gorgeous. All we wanted to see was that kite up in the air. And the wind was gusting, not blowing, it was gusting. So we got the kite up, and I'll correct myself here. I got the kite up with my brother. My brother is 49, 50. I'm 42. I haven't played with my brother in a good few years. So I thought to myself, we'll get the kite up, I'll hand the string to my daughter. She's waiting patiently, so excited. And we get it up in the air. It goes 20, 30 meters. The gust dies away, kite flops down. And then the wind comes again, and we're all really super excited. And the kite goes up 20, 30 meters. I'm like, come on, Ellie, come on, take the strings. Kite flops down. So we do this for almost an hour. We're trying to get this kite up in the air. It goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. I'm having a blast. My brother is actually, sticking with it, which is surprising. My 8-year-old daughter goes off to play on the swings. She can't be bothered. The girl is not going to go into sales, let's be honest. At the end of it, the kite stays at my house. My brother goes home disappointed because he didn't get to fly a kite with my daughter. But all in all, not a bad day. And the analogy here really does remind me of riding the wave when it comes to InkJet digital and sales in general. It goes up, it comes down, but you've got to catch the wave. When it's there, you've got to catch that gust of air, and you've got to innovate while you can, because that's what's going to sustain you when the gusts die down. And going on from that, it was a nice little segue, wasn't it? Into IIJ itself. So you may know us, you may not. I'm going to give you a brief rundown of history. Don't worry, I'm not going to do it word for word. We're not doing death by PowerPoint here. So we started in 2005. And as John, who's still around, likes to tell everybody, he wanted to start his own business. Konica Minolta basically said, no, you're going to work with us. You don't say no to Konica Minolta. Hence, IIJ was born. And from about 2008, we started building our own printers, but we've got a weird business model. We work with Konica Minolta and we support their customers as well. So basically, we're supporting our competitors. It's strange, I know, but it works. As time moves on, what we have done is we've caught those gusts. My first year at IIJ, we sold a machine doing coding and marking at 300 meters per minute. There was more than a few people there that said, this is not viable as a business model. We're not going to be able to do it, or we're not going to be able to sell it. We sold it, we did it, it's all good. And moving on from that, we've had gusts that come and go, and we ride the wave. I'm mixing analogies, but you know what I mean. And we've had a fair few good years. So, I said the 300 meters per minute, we called it XPI. X for fast, It's not innovative, but it works. We sell a couple of those, we go into pharmaceutical packaging. We do it pretty fast, we do it pretty wide, we get multiple sales. We move on, and we do other things because the gust comes, it's interesting, and we've got those people in the business that are very blue sky, and they really, really like to do fun stuff. So we capitalize on the fun stuff. It's like you point and you aim, and then they just run with it. So we do wide format for industrial. We do things that we should not be doing. We print on grit paper. That scared everybody. You know, weird environment, it's dusty. Not to worry, it wasn't at that point in the production process. Then we go into, wait for it, wallpaper. Someone wanted it, we thought, yeah, sure, we'll give it a try. It starts to work. But the bouncing off point from wallpaper is learning how to do water-based, learning how to do wide format, learning how to do more for packaging. That's both food, that's medical, that's industrial. And so we move on. Actually, I'm going to go back. I say we do things because people come to us. They do, and they ask us to do stuff that other people can't do or aren't willing to do. The SMP, which is the last one there for 2024, we got told, your machinery is great, but we want it smaller. This is like going from Nokia to the flip phone, right? So Nokia was, there aren't any very young people here, so you should all know, good, solid phone. It's a brick, had an antenna, never broke, battery didn't run down, you were never left in the lurch, but we had to get snazzy and people wanted smaller stuff. We did the same thing with the SMP. We didn't lose the aspects that made Nokia great, but we did make it smaller. So we halved everything inside, and we could then fit it into machinery that needed tiny, tiny little elements. So where's this going? There are changes that are happening. We've spoken about it already. We've heard the presentations. And those changes are going to be based on recycling, sustainability, waste management, going green. And the legislation is coming. Now, I'm not going to dwell on this because it's a lot of writing, and we've already heard about it. We know the dates. We know 2027. We know 2030 and beyond. And it's only going to get harder and harder to print onto these products when the material's changing, the inks need to change, and the technology behind it needs to change and innovate with it. This is going not just within the EU. The UK is actually getting on board. I know, everybody here, non-British, surprised. It's happening. So we've got the UK, we've got the EU, we've got the US with the FDA, and anywhere else in the world, if everybody's getting on board with this initiative, it means we all have to change. So I've got pictures here, I've got dates. If you're in the packaging world, you know UPA, you know Swiss, you know Nestle, and you know the most difficult of all, German, being picky, and we have to actually motivate ourselves and do this, as has been said with previous presentations, before that change happens for us. Medical and pharmaceutical is the same. There are single-use products. You go into a hospital, you get a syringe out, it's in a paper pack, there is some plastic involved, it's ripped, it's binned, it's sent wherever it's sent. Is it landfill, is it recycling? We don't know all the time, but we have to be able to accommodate the laws and legislations that go around that. Like I said again, you can read the presentation later. I'm not going to read it out for you word for word, don't worry. With the pharmaceutical, my colleague here, she's had a customer, we call it the most pickiest customer in the IJ. She has to be able to give them what they want. The inks have to work, the print heads have to work, the machinery has to work, and it's an incredibly holistic environment in which every single element needs to work together. Now, we've spoken about cooperation today, collaboration, the ability to innovate. It's not just one company all by themselves. We all know that. And how do we do that? How do we work together with all these different companies? Everybody wants their own slice of the pie. They want to get some money out of this and actually progress and do well as a company, and we have to be able to work with the world and move forward with these laws and legislations. As you can see, I'm whizzing through these, so there will be time for questions at the end of it, I guarantee it. Industrial is very much the same. This is even slightly worse. Industrial, I have become to know when we've worked with these, is all sorts of things that these inks and this print and this packaging has to withstand. Being able to understand this, being able to test this, and being able to reassure people that their capital investment is actually going to be worthwhile, because we all know it's not a small amount. You can buy a house for the cost of some of these things, and some very nice houses, I might add. It's obvious to everybody that you can't do this alone. You cannot put a graphics ink into a desktop printer, expect it to work. The technology here, and the technology that's required, not just from IIJ, from everybody in the industry, is going to be something that you have to work at, you have to collaborate at, and you have to have the customer in mind. It's been said before today, customer is king. I can slightly disagree with that, but the customer knows their business, and they know what is required, and they know what they have to do to accomplish that. So what do we need? Flexibility. That's it in my mind. You have to be able to have technology, fluids, I'm being literal here, and thinking, and the ability to work with other people. And what do I mean? Print heads. Now, I'm going to talk about Konica Minolta. Those are the print heads that we use at IIJ. There's reasons for that. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to tout it. Wow, 5 minutes to go. All right, I'll talk faster. You can read these at your own leisure. If the presentation isn't given out, I'll send it to whoever asks. Print heads that we use, I consider them industrial for various different reasons. And there are ways and means to use this that actually work for your particular business. But as I'm not going to have the time, nor probably the inclination from the audience to talk about Konica Minolta non-stop, I'm going on. Inks, fluids, partnerships. Man from AGFA. Hand up. He knows what I'm going to talk about here. What we do at IIJ when we work with inks, we don't have our own inks. I mean, that's easy enough to say. We test a variety of inks. Most manufacturers will do this, and if they don't, they should, but that's my own opinion. And you can see, and this is just a small sampling of the type of packaging that you can have, that one thing is not going to work for everything. As much as we would all like this utopian situation where one ink works for every single packaging in the world, we all know that's not going to happen. So the options, what do we need? We need safety. We need durability. It has to last. As we heard from Loaka, the packaging has to work with the product inside. If the product shelf life is 18 months, the packaging has to last for 18 months. It's as simple as that. There has to be adhesion, color fastness, color correctness, latency, the curing. Where is IST? They'll be able to tell you all about curing. It has to be a 360-degree solution. Now, whatever that turns out to be, and whatever the recipe that we think about with a 360-degree solution, you're only going to get that from collaboration with various partners. What we do in-house. This is just a snapshot of what IIJ does. Other companies may do something different. They probably do. But we have an 8-step process, and if someone wants to find detail of our sample and ink testing process, they can get in touch with me, and I'll tell you all about it. But running through very quickly has to be compatible with all the parts of the system. If it's not compatible with something, you're going to end up with a very large, very expensive paperweight. That's all there is to it. The jetting has to be reliable. The ink has to have good latency. You have to be able to jet at high frequency. What is the point of something that doesn't print fast? Everybody wants faster. The ink has to be stable in the print head. The print quality has to be good. You have to be able to test it in a real-world environment, and when you can only test that in a real-world environment, prior to that, what you're looking at is weeks and weeks of testing in a factory somewhere. And then pulse durability. That's a new thing we added. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what it means. I'll get you in touch with someone that does. This is all the science part. I don't have the time for the science part. I'll talk to you about it some other time. The process. The process is crucial for us. It's a recipe. I think about it like baking a cake. You've got flour, you've got butter, you've got eggs. What we have print heads, we have material, we have ink. You put it all together, you come up with a recipe about what works. What's going to work for the customer? What's going to work for you? What can you sell? What does the customer want? Do they want multi-lane? Do they want wide format? Do they want high resolution? Does that really matter in real life? Do you want CMYK? Do you want a 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th other color? Can that be achieved? Can it? For the price that they want to pay? Do they have the capex for it? This is something that all has to be thought about in advance. You all know this. I'm teaching you all to suck eggs here. But if you don't have the end product in mind, the end solution, not just your little bit of it, then what are you going to end up with? You're going to end up with something that sort of works, but not for very long. And 4 minutes left. This is the whole point of my presentation. It's to work everybody together. It's to collaborate. It's to get people in touch. If you want to know more, give me a call. If you're all good, then that's perfectly fine. Questions? No?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nadina. Brilliant talk. Thank you for being a part of FuturePrint, and hope to have you back again.